Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Graham, and today we're going to be doing another Hot Toys figure unboxing and review. This is going to be TVA Loki from Hot Toys. Oh, I'm so happy to finally have a Loki in the collection. If you guys know me, this was been a character that wasn't really hot on until the series came out, the Loki series, and then it came to the point where I need a Loki in the collection, but now which one do I choose? We have Endgame Loki, we have TVA Loki, we have President Loki. Those three were in the cards for me. I was in anguish. I was doing a video of my Christmas wish list, and I wasn't really sure which Loki to get. Well, I picked one, and I think I picked the right one, but we're going to see. We're going to make sure I picked the right one. This is TVA Loki again. This is the one that I'm going with in my collection, and I can't wait to unbox this with you guys. The box art looks great. We have Tom Hiddleston as Loki on the cover, and you can see just the series logo there of Loki, and it is a slip cover, so when we remove that, we have a nice window display, and it's kind of got like a fog on all the sides to resemble kind of like the time teleportation on the sides. You can see TVA, and then we do have Miss Minutes there on the bottom, and it is on both sides as well. And we're just going to open this guy up, get him out, and see what our first impressions are. Does come in the normal clamshell case, which is perfectly fine. Most of the Hot Toys do come in this, but once we get that off, we get our first look at the figure. And something that jumps out to me right away is just the amount of accessories that come with this guy. It is mind-boggling. We don't see this too often with Hot Toys. I mean, just look at all of the really cool stuff we get. I'm excited to try and actually display all this stuff with the figure, but first glimpses of the figure, I am impressed. It's as good as I was hoping. That head sculpt looks amazing, and that's what really drew me to this figure. I was thinking of getting Endgame, but I didn't like that head sculpt, and I didn't want to have the helmet on. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do something a little different. We're just going to take a look at some of the accessories that come in the box. We're going to start with some of the hands. They're your typical hands. He comes with a good amount, which is a good thing. And he's got these magic effects, which I actually like a lot. Not actually, I usually don't use lightning effects and stuff like that, but this looks really cool. It's hefty, it's chonky, it's got some girth to it, but it doesn't look cheap, and the fingers just kind of glide right into the groove, so it fits really nice, and it is just like a friction fit. So, it's not adhered to it permanently, but it is nice that you can also use the hands for something else if you choose. And like I said, there are plenty of hands. There's different gestures. There's the dagger holding hands. There's just other gripping holding hands. There's a sword holding hand. So there's a lot that you're going to be able to do with this. Sometimes we get these newer figures and it seems like Hot Toys cheaps out on the hands. Not the case here. You also get two Miss Minute displays, one kind of like that angry look, and then the other with more of the happy face. And I dig these too. I like how they're transparent, because obviously she was transparent in the show. But I'm definitely going to use one of these in the display too when I get it all set up, because she's a really cool part of the show as well. This is for the magic detonator, so that just goes under it. And then we have the TVA, the variant jacket, which is nice. It's got these buttons. It's got variant on the back. The material feels like a windbreaker material. It's different than I thought it would be, but I'm excited to get that on the figure as well. We have his collar, which you would just pop the head off, put it on the neck, and then pop it right back on. It's got some good detail if you take a closer look at it. And then we do have the time detonator itself. I'm not sure if that's actually what it's called. It's like a time bomb or something like that, if I can even get it out here. But it's really cool. It's got this haze over the canister, lots of details, lots of buttons. I dig that a lot. I don't know if I'm going to actually use it, but it's just cool to have this stuff. This is an amazing piece. The computer with Miss Minutes on the top. It's like this retro 70s, 80s looking computer. Almost looks like an old Apple computer. This is, even if I set this on the stand, that is going to be on the display, just because it looks so cool and it's just so unique. These accessories aren't something that you see all the time. Then we have his temp pad, which can open up if I can get my fingernail in there. And again, I like this a lot. Just really good detail. You have the black screen right there, and then you just have all the buttons as well. So I don't know, man. It's hard to pick with all of this stuff that you get what you're going to use. It'd be nice to be able to use all this at the same time, but there's actually really good craftsmanship and really good detail in all of these accessories. So really, really cool stuff there. And then there's like this other little piece that I gotta use a little Loki finger just to pry it out. My hands are too big to get some of these really small, intricate pieces out here. But this is also, it fits right into the temp pad if you want to use that little part of it as well. So very small, just be careful you don't lose it. And let's go on to the base as well. It's the typical Marvel style base, and it's got like this matte textured grippy finish on most of it. And then you have the Loki, which is actually going to be shiny and smooth, and then you have a normal crotch grabber as well. So I like how it's got like the horns of Loki's helmet in there. And then underneath we have this super cheap backdrop that I know I'm not going to use. There's just no way, but I'll get it out of the bag for you guys just so you can see. Look at the base is super flimsy. It just pegs right in on the ends there. Kind of like this transparent piece of plastic that, yeah, I'm not going to use. But going to some more good stuff, we also have some daggers and some swords. Oh man, I love this flame effect sword. I just don't know how that I would actually use it, because I don't know, I like the sword, but I just don't know if I want him holding it. I'd rather use like the magic effects, so I'm not sure, but I love the fire and how it looks so realistic. Then you have his other sword with the washes and the gold, and then the daggers as well. And when we get our first look at the figure on the turntable in his variant outfit, his TVA outfit, I'm impressed. Like, I know this isn't the most flashy like outfit that he could be wearing, and it's not the traditional Loki, and you guys know, like, usually I do like to go with the traditional character, but I just love this head sculpt, and I love this character arc of Loki. This is when I really like grew to love the character. So, you know, you have the sword holster on the back that is going to be a pleather material, but when we slow it down, you can just see the likeness to Tom Hiddleston in the head sculpt. The sculpted hair looks amazing as well. It looks very natural, very realistic. So I am super impressed. But let's just get a closer look in hand at this guy. We're going to take the wrapping off and everything too, but let's start with the head sculpt. From the profile too, I just think at all angles this looks really good, and I don't think the video itself does justice how good the hair is in the sculpt. And there you can see the sword just fits right in the loops on the back there. That is going to be pleather. Got the nice tie, which is like just a thin material. And then you can see I like the fact that the shirt almost covers the peg. Like if you get him posed just right, it's gonna cover that elbow joint. So then it's going to look more seamless. You're going to have less joints exposed. It would have been cool if we would have gotten like a pair of forearms, like seamless forearms, just to peg on there. But yeah, this thing is super, super awesome. It's tailored very well. I love the pants. The color looks great. You know, it's not going to jump off the shelf, but I think it's got a lot of presence to it. It's very unique, and that's what I like. You got even just the pattern in the pants and the press marks. He's got some black socks. The shoes are really nice as well, fully sculpted, and you're going to have, you know, full rotation in there. Swivel in the thigh as well. Really good bend in the knee. You know, this thing's going to be easy to pose. There's really nothing that you're going to have to worry about when it comes to posing. There's really not a lot of restrictions or anything like that. Almost to a 90 there, and then comes forward. You know, there might be just a little bit of a restriction when you're pushing them forward. It had a little bit of pushback, but almost to 90 there as well. So, yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm so glad that I got this guy. He's got some crunch in the abdomen. You can go back that far as well. So, yeah, no problems there. We're just going to take the plastic off of here too. But, yeah, just all this stuff that Hot Toys does, you know, going the extra mile to make sure, you know, that this thing is packaged just right. So it's all good stuff there. But yeah, I'm super impressed. I'm super happy I got this. Let's get some other figures out next to him just so we can have like a size comparison and see what he looks like next to, let's start with Thor. Now, of course, this is Endgame Thor, but hey, we still have the brothers together, and there you can see the size comparison. Obviously, Loki's in a little bit of a pose, so he's going to be a little shorter with the legs spread out a little bit more, but I love that pose with the light effects in both hands. And just so you can see, having a female next to him, we have Black Widow with our Loki, so you can see the size comparison there. I think he's going to look really good in the Marvel shelf. I do have the D100 and, you know, a mix of like Guardians and Infinity War and Endgame, so I think he'll look just fine. So now let's get him into some poses, talk about some of the things that I really like about the figure and some things not so much. Starting with the things that I really like about this Loki figure is the amount of accessories that come with this figure and how unique they are. You get the TemPad, you get the time bomb, you get the computer, which is awesome. You get not only the daggers, but the sword and the flame effect sword, which looks so cool. Lots of good stuff. The jacket, you can do different looks with this figure. It's really good stuff right there. The second thing that I really like about the figure is obviously the head sculpt. This is what drew me to pick up this figure. At first I was thinking I wanted Endgame Loki because that's kind of goes better with what I have with Marvel, but I wasn't feeling the head sculpt, and I don't like the helmet on the figure, and I just don't think the head sculpt looks great with that helmet off of the figure. So, you know, President Loki is more of a smiling head sculpt, but I really just kind of liked this neutral head sculpt for this Loki, so I'm just excited. I think this looks spot on to Tom Hiddleston, so really good stuff by Hot Toys. And the third thing is just how well tailored and form-fitting the clothes are. You know, they just look natural. The proportions of the body look great, and I think the clothes fit well as well. The coat, you know, I have a little bit of an issue, and that kind of leads me to my dislikes. You know, sometimes the hair gets caught on the collar itself, so you just have to be careful with that. It does kind of restrict the head a little bit. The other thing that's not really even a dislike. There's really nothing that I just thought of I disliked right out of the box with this thing. But the one thing that could have been better would have been it would have been cool if we could have gotten a pair of seamless forearms with this figure just to hide the wrist joints. But it is what it is. That just would have been something to make this thing even that much sweeter. I am so happy to have this Loki in the collection. You know, at some point I never thought that I would even have a Loki in the collection because he just wasn't one of my favorite characters. But man, the TV series Loki, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's really made me appreciate the character. I love his arc and where he's come from to where he's gone and to where he's going to go. And yeah, I can't really say enough about it. So I am super pumped to have this in the collection. But I want to hear from you. I want to know what your favorite Loki figure is out there, because there are a lot to pick from, and there's probably going to be more coming. So I want to know from you in the comments below if you think this is a figure you might pick up, or maybe not, but what is your favorite Loki? And if you like this video, please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring that bell so you don't miss any new content coming your way. You can also find me on Instagram and Facebook. And until next time, guys, stay safe out there, and we'll see you soon.